Welcome, and thank you for joining us here to discuss the upcoming changes taking place on August 31st, 2020. In addition to the changes, my presentation will briefly cover the research conducted in 2019 that resulted in the upcoming changes to the AVTA system. Through the Mobility Forward project, AVTA seeks to improve the service our riders receive from our system. The goal here is the effective use of AVTA's resources to provide a quality transportation experience for our riders. AVTA seeks to strengthen the transit system in the Antelope Valley by focusing our resources where we have the highest demand for service. For areas with lower demand, AVTA seeks to apply innovative transportation solutions that will require less resources but provide a higher transit experience. Since January of 2019, AVTA and our consultants at Stantec have researched the Antelope Valley community. We have studied the current AVTA system, explored service solutions available, and listened to the voice of our riders through interviews, surveys, focus groups, and public meetings. So what we've seen in our research is something that we've known for some time. Many members of our community depend on AVTA's transportation services. For many, AVTA is a lifeline, providing means to get to work, school, medical appointments, and much more. One challenge we've noted was how spread out AVTA's service area is and how much the demand for service varies from area to area. Frequent service works well in town where there is more demand, but many rural areas have less demand, causing a need for AVTA to run less frequent service in order to well manage our resources. So what we've heard. Many of AVTA's riders have shared that they have no other option for transportation. When they encounter issues with inconvenience of our services, reliability, insufficient bus stop amenities, or any other issues, they have no other choice for getting to where they need to go. AVTA does not take this responsibility lightly. We want to improve these riders' transit experience. Some commuters in the AV have shared that they don't feel AVTA's commuter service is competitive when compared to alternatives such as Metrolink or simply driving. Long-term users of AVTA services report that better coverage is more important to them than frequency. Overall, both riders and non-riders report having a positive impression of AVTA, but the majority of the AV community does not view AVTA as an alternative for their transportation needs. Bottom line, our community reports needing a better transit experience, one with better coverage, and where it is needed, better frequency. Most AV residents, including those commuting, don't see AVTA as their primary choice for transportation. So, for the past year, we have been analyzing this research, studying our fixed route system, investigating innovative solutions available, and planning a better system. Like many things in life, these changes will need to be rolled out over time. But here's what's coming August 31st. An overview of upcoming changes. Our first change is to improve frequencies. AVTA seeks to develop a layer-based approach to service design, with frequent service along major corridors and less frequent service in lower demand areas. These frequency layers are labeled as frequent, connector, and community layers. AVTA seeks to provide fixed frequencies that riders can depend on based on the route you are traveling. This will take some fine-tuning over time, but as more buses are added, our goal is a system with established set frequencies of 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and 60-minute intervals. This means without even looking at a schedule, depending on the route you are on, you would know another bus will be along in a set interval for that route. Starting on August 31st, you can experience 15 to 20-minute frequencies on our frequent layers, routes 1, 11, and 12. 30 to 40-minute frequencies on the connector layer, routes 2, 3, and 4. And 50 to 75-minute frequencies on the community layer, routes 5, 6, 7, and 9. Our rural routes, with low demand, will remain largely unchanged at this time, with more than 2-hour frequencies throughout the day. We are also making minor adjustments to some of the routes to improve system flow in and out of the transportation centers, to improve frequencies, and in some cases to help with charging at the new stations in Palmdale and Lancaster. I'll go into these in more detail as we talk through each route. Also starting at the end of August, our late-night riders will be introduced to an innovative on-request service. We will operate the 3 frequent layers, routes 1, 11, and 12, until 12 midnight on weekdays. All other routes will end service by 9 p.m. as our late-night on-request service will take over. Late-night service will run until 1 a.m. Monday through Sunday. For the same fare, riders can request or schedule a ride with a smartphone app or by calling a phone number without the long wait for the next bus that sometimes can occur late at night. Most rides will pick up at a bus stop and either connect with the frequent routes that run until midnight or deliver the rider within 1 mile of another AVTA bus stop. More to come on this service as we roll out the late-night service in August. So let's proceed into the specific local routes. Remember, all these routes fall into 3 layers, and changes to these routes are made to improve frequency and service. Route 1. AVTA implemented a pilot program on Route 1 last June, upgrading frequencies to every 15 minutes during the day on weekdays. This change is becoming permanent. Route 1 is the main north-south artery between Palmdale and Lancaster. The route will now end in Palmdale at the South Valley Station at 40th East and Q10. This is a new charging station and will enable Route 1 to maintain the 15-minute frequencies without mid-route charging. This means improved travel times between Palmdale and Lancaster. Route 1 will also run later during the week and have late-night service available until 1 a.m. on weeknights and weekends. Route 11. Route 11 is now a frequent layer route and is a quick east-west artery along Avenue I. Changes have been made at both ends of Route 11 to increase the service east-west across Lancaster. The west side change was made to increase the flow. Route 11 will end at Valley Central instead of continuing on to Sergeant Steve Owen Memorial Park. This section will be served by the new Route 6. The east side change removes service to 40th East due to low demand. Route 11 will run along 30th Street East. These changes improve service frequency to every 20 minutes on weekdays and every 30 minutes on Saturdays. Route 11 will have late-night on-request service available until 1 a.m. on weeknights and weekends. Route 12 is now a frequent layer route. A small change removing a turn into Valley Central Shopping Mall will make Route 12 a much faster and more direct east-west artery along Avenue J. These changes improve service frequency to every 20 minutes on weekdays and every 30 minutes on Saturdays. Route 12 will also run later and have late-night on-request service available until 1 a.m. on weeknights and weekends. Currently, routes 2 and 3 are crossed. This change uncrosses 2 and 3, simplifying the network. Route 2 now runs on Avenue R and Rancho Boulevard, while Route 3 runs along Avenue S out to East Palmdale and ending at the South Valley Station. Both Route 2 and 3 will now have later service until 1 a.m. through our late-night on-request service. Route 4. Route 4 provides service from the Lancaster Metrolink station to county buildings, the courthouse, and AVTA's office. This route will now also serve the DMV, which was a highly requested destination during our public engagement. The Lancaster Senior Center is still served by routes 1, 11, and 6. Route 4 will now have improved frequencies running every 30 minutes during the week and every 60 minutes on weekends. Route 4 will also have late-night on-request service available until 1 a.m. on the weeknights and weekends. Route 5. On Route 5, we have added the destination of the Kaiser Permanente on Avenue L after leaving Sergeant Steve Owen Memorial Park. This community layer route now has improved frequencies of every 50 minutes on the weekdays and weekends. Route 5 will also have late-night on-request service available until 1 a.m. on weeknights and weekends. Route 6. This new route is another community layer route. Route 6 provides streamlined service from Lancaster Metrolink Station to Lancaster health care providers such as AV Hospital and the Kaiser Permanente locations. Route 6 will deliver 50-minute frequencies on weekdays and weekends, and will also have late-night on-request service available until 1 a.m. on weeknights and weekends. Route 7. Route 7's changes remove duplicate service in certain areas and simplifies frequencies. Route 7 no longer runs on Avenue J, which is serviced by Route 12. Route 7 no longer runs on Avenue L, which is serviced by Route 5. This community layer route runs every 65 minutes on weekdays and weekends. Route 7 will also have late-night on-request service available until 1 a.m. on weeknights and weekends. Route 9. Route 9 will service Quartz Hill High School to Lancaster Metrolink Station. By not continuing on to Sergeant Steve Owen Memorial Park, which is already heavily serviced by our local system, Route 9 will now have 75-minute frequencies on weekdays and weekends. Route 9 will also have the late-night on-request service available until 1 a.m. on weeknights and weekends. Commuter Service. Both rider and non-rider commuters have provided us with feedback. We have analyzed our routes and fares and made some powerful changes. Our commuters will experience improved service to Los Angeles and the San Fernando Valley as we begin to coordinate with LA Metro for integrated and more efficient service. Fares have been reduced to reflect the shorter travel distances. In the past, travel times have been unreliable as posted. This has been corrected, and the new schedules will be far more reliable. Route 785. By connecting to the North Hollywood Metro Station, riders can access subway and quicker service to downtown LA. Although this does require using another connection, this change alone is expected to save our downtown LA riders about 15 minutes on both morning and evening trips and provide far more reliable travel times. We are also consolidating trips on this route. The 8th and 9th trip in each direction will be removed due to low ridership. Trips will depart from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. and from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. New connections include the B, Red Line, G, Orange Line, and destinations in San Fernando Valley. Downtown stops currently served by 785 can be reached using LA Metro. From 6 a.m., the B Red Line runs about every 10 minutes. The evening has the same frequencies. Fare has been reduced to reflect shorter travel distances. Route 786 will now terminate at Wilshire Boulevard and Santa Monica Boulevard. This will allow commuters to transfer to LA Metro 230 or 720, which provides rapid service through dedicated bus-only lanes along Wilshire Boulevard. New connections include LA Metro lines 20, 720, 4, 16, 316, and 704. We are consolidating trips on this route from 5 to 4 trips, mornings and evenings. Fares have been reduced to reflect shorter travel distances. Route 787 will now terminate at the Warner Center due to low ridership beyond this point. The Warner Center is currently served by a Metro Circulator Line 601 that connects with the G Line Orange at the Canoga Station with 10-minute frequencies. We are consolidating trips on this route from 9 to 7 trips, mornings and evenings. This route will service the Sepulveda VA Medical Center in North Hills. Fares have been reduced to reflect shorter travel distances. In the near future, our rural route riders from Lake Los Angeles, Parablossom, Little Rock, and Sun Village can expect to see an on-request service of their own as we roll out on-request services to routes 50, 51, and 52. Similar to the late-night service, for the same fare as our fixed route, riders can request or schedule a ride with a smartphone app or by phone call without the long wait time for the next bus. Most rides will pick up at a bus stop or street corner and connect with the transfer centers in Palmdale and Lancaster. Wait times are expected to be 20 minutes or shorter. In September, we expect to launch an on-request service to run parallel to routes 50, 51, and 52. More to come on this soon. So in review, coming August 31st, expect improved frequencies moving towards set frequency layers, some rerouting to improve system flow, late-night on-request service, and commuter route changes to improve arrival times with lower fares. Coming later this year, on-request service to run parallel with routes 50, 51, and 52. Thank you for taking the time to sit through all of that. I know it was a lot of detail. If you like detail, there is more at the project website. Please visit our Mobility Forward website at avtamobilityplan.fyi. There are 2 new surveys on this website that we are beginning to promote. For our commuters, please participate in a survey that will be released this week. We will be posting it on our website and in social media and sending a link out through our commuter rider alert system. For everyone else that uses our local system, please complete our local network survey. These surveys are full of information, and we need to hear your opinions and preferences. Thank you.